Well, you guys are not going to believe this. Maybe you will, but it doesn't surprise me. Joe Biden is out of his mind. The man is not there. The man is clearly asleep at the wheel, and apparently he's trying to run for another term in office. This man is a disaster. Folks, how many videos have we done about illegal aliens crossing over into this country? Ever since Joe Biden was actually installed into the White House, there's been roughly, I would guess, 10 million illegal aliens that have gotten into this country. I believe the official number is something like 8 million, but we know that gotaways is a real thing. So I'm going to be pretty conservative with that number and say 10 million have entered our country. This is a crisis. This is so bad, guys. Even Democrats know there's a problem. Eric Adams knows there's a problem. But Joe Biden isn't doing anything to actually help Eric Adams, because if he actually does say, hey, we're going to help out New York City, he has to do the same thing for the red states. This is calculated, guys. Everything that's going on with illegal aliens here in this country is calculated. This is a serious problem, and I do believe this is definitely going to be one of the many things that's actually going to cost Joe Biden the White House come 2024 in November this year. Almost forgot that this year is already 2024. It's the new year. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that actually does that. So we're going to be talking about that in this video, guys. First, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member. Memberships just start at $5 per month. And if you're watching on Rumble, click the join button as well. You can support us there as well. Get access to our Friday member streams. Thank you guys for the support. So, Joe Biden is completely out of his mind. I believe Beijing Biden is actually, 81 years old? I mean, this man is clearly asleep at the wheel. If I was to ask just a random person out there on the streets and ask them, hey, do we have a crisis at the border? More than likely, that person, if they're actually informed, is going to say yes. But what would Joe Biden say if you actually asked him about the crisis at the border? Well, he was asked that by Fox News. This is what he said. Check this out. Over here on Daily Wire, Biden says southern border is not a crisis as illegal crossings surge. There's a ton of people out there from other countries across the world that are invading our country, but Beijing Biden says there's no crisis. Yeah, like I said, man, this man is delusional. He's out of his mind. He's saying there is no crisis, guys. Probably because this is a part of the plan right here, is to actually have a crisis, but not actually acknowledge the crisis. Yeah. I don't know what his handlers are actually thinking by actually allowing that border to be wide open like this. This is definitely going to cost him. And you know what? When it actually comes to negotiating with Republicans, they want to give like mass amnesty to people that crossed into this country illegally. I say no. Republicans should not have to negotiate with that. Not one single illegal alien should be given any amnesty. They shouldn't be given any government resources because we're paying for that. Look here. It says Beijing Biden told reporters on Saturday that there was no crisis at the southern border, even as illegal crossings surged to record highs. As he was leaving for Camp David, Beijing Biden was asked by Fox News reporter Lucas Thomason whether he considered there to be a crisis at the southern border. Biden responded by saying that there was no crisis at the border and shifted blame for the situation to Republicans. Now, the thing is, This thing is entirely created by Joe Biden. We all know that. Under Donald Trump, the border was secure. But Joe Biden campaigned on open borders in 2020. You people that allegedly voted for Joe Biden, you're getting what you voted for right here. But this man says there's no crisis at the border. Folks, they don't know where these people are actually coming from. You got terrorists that have crossed over into this country. There's rumors out there that there are Hamas cells out there right now in this country, and they got in via the southern border because it's wide open. Unbelievable that Joe Biden is saying this. But anyway, it says here, quote, "No," he said, "I have been pushing them, my Republican colleagues, since they got in office. I think we have to make major changes to the border. I don't believe we necessarily need major changes to the border. We just need to enforce our immigration laws. It's just that simple. It is already illegal to come into this country illegally. Now, one thing I would actually change, instead of having it as a misdemeanor, make it a felony. And I believe that people, if they're actually caught crossing the border, they should be sent back immediately. Immediately. Because what Joe Biden's Border Patrol has been doing, actually, they've been opening up, like razor wire over here in Texas and letting people in. That's violating the law right there. Joe Biden is violating the law, but he says there is no crisis. There's a crisis. Republicans rip into Biden over his comments, pinning the blame on the Biden administration's policies. Quote, "Biden, the architect of the open border crisis, is also delusional if he believes Republicans have not been willing to secure it," Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin said. "The truth is that he is the most dishonest, corrupt, and incompetent occupier of the Oval Office in American history." Yep. Another person here, Troy Niels, from right out here in Texas. He says, quote, "Since Biden took office, over 6.7 million illegal aliens have crossed our southern border. There is a crisis at our southern border, and it's all at the hands of the White House and the Democrat Party." That's true. Ridiculous. There is a crisis at the border, and it's of Joe Biden's making. House Republicans passed the strongest border security legislation in decades nearly a year ago. He has ignored it. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Now, the thing is, man, Republicans, you guys actually have the power to impeach this man. Now, I think it's probably a little bit too late now, considering that Joe Biden is actually going to be blown out in this election. But you guys had opportunity after opportunity to at least impeach this man over the border. I mean, forget about the Hunter Biden stuff. That's another thing right there in itself. He can actually be impeached on. But when it comes to the border, he is violating the laws. And you should have impeached him several years ago. Did you guys do it? Nope. Didn't do it. Now we know he won't get removed. I mean, it's almost impossible to actually get Joe Biden removed. Unless Democrats say, hey, we're tired of this guy. We need to move in a different direction, get somebody else. But Kamala Harris is sitting right there too, so she'll be just as worse. And Democrats don't want her either, man. That's the problem with identity politics right there, man. But this man, out of his mind, asleep at the wheel. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and White Network fans, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. And we'll catch you next time.